each of us are going to give you our 3 takes on things that should be left over in 2023. And that's it. And it stay there. We're all going to give you one each. And then we're also going to tell you what you can do instead of that advice. Do this instead. So who wants to go first? Lindsay?
Oh, she volunteered me. So I guess I'm going first. Oh, man. All right. So my first one that I thought about was, bragging / exaggerating style content, which I've seen a lot. And I think it's meant to have a strong hook and like draw people in. But the issue is that a lot of times we've seen it a lot. It starts to get recycled and recycled. So I think we should leave that in 2023. And I'll give you examples like how I made 100K in 30 days, like these very dramatic, extreme results, like 50K in 1 month. Here's how I grew my following by 50K in 1 month. Like there are other things and other approaches and ways of how you can share your results. And I think what a lot of us are craving is connection these days. So think of your audience when you create content. That's the number one thing. I always say it, and it will never go out of style, creating content for your audience specifically. So when you're thinking of them, you should have in mind, oh, this type of content is going to help them or serve them. And what's really doing well right now is vulnerable content, very honest, like transparent content, because people really want that. And they feel like they can see themselves in your content. So like, for example, instead of saying maybe like, here's how I, did this, maybe the unfiltered truth about gaining 50K followers. That's something I would click at.
I like that.
What's the unfiltered truth? What you about to say? There's ways of like bringing people in still with a strong hook without having to like say, well, here's what I did, because really what it is bragging. And if you find a way to still say, hey, I am still an authority in this, but there's other sides to it. I think that's a nice spin on it. Like take your own spin on how you grew your following and some of the things maybe unexpectedly that came out of it, some of the lessons you learned. That's something that I think is really powerful and things that I've learned from other people personally, just from watching certain content, how some people were like, oh, here's the, the reality of what happened when I went viral. I'm like, oh, what happened? What happened? Share, tell. So that sort of thing of, being able to open up and share a little more with your audience. Again, this doesn't have to be your deepest, darkest secrets, but just, letting them in a little bit and showing more of your story so that they feel like, oh, wow, I didn't see that side, those aha moments or those shifts maybe in their mindset.
I love it. I love that. And I completely agree with you. It gives me clickbait with the first one, but the way you worded it, honestly, I would love to see somebody say the unfiltered truth to how I got to this point, because that's what I want to know. I want to know the real deal, what it really took, because most cases when they do those posts that are how I got to whatever the number is, it's very surface, it's very generic, it's not going in depth to everything that it really took to go. And I would rather learn from somebody who's going to tell me the unfiltered, like it took all this. So if you're not ready to do all this and you're not ready for that type of success, I would rather see that than somebody just give me something just to give me the click and like and save or buy into their stuff. So I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
There's ways. And of course, you phrase it in your own way, of course, like however you want to do it. Like it could be like, anything, the shocking reality of XYZ, like it can be however you want to present it, but you can still do it in a way that I feel like is still ethical and like helpful to people.
Yeah, I love it. Somebody put in the comments, the unfiltered truth to how I gained 10,000 followers in a week and I wasn't prepared for it. I might need to use that for social media because y'all
I like
go
that.
viral and stuff and don't be ready for it. Like it's a lot of stuff that goes into those things. So I like that. So Jiggy, you can go ahead and lead us off with your number one thing that you feel like needs to be left in 2023.
Scarcity mindset when it comes to engaging with your peers. And it's funny because I've been seeing this a little bit more recently since we talked about like what we were going to talk about. So engagement is networking. When you're engaging with your peers, with your industry leaders, you are networking your business. And I worked at corporate 9 to 5 and went to these networking events, traveled, paid, the company paid for hotels, the airplane ticket, all this stuff. It's very expensive to go to these in-person networking events, but they But businesses do this for a reason. It is to get in touch with other people in your business. It is to learn from them. It is to understand the trends in your industry. It is to form those relationships and bonds with other people in your niche, in your industry, so that you build a profitable relationship with each other. So not engaging with peers, having this limited mindset of, oh, I don't want to support them because they could do better than me. Look, we are all different. We all bring our own gems to the playground. We all bring our own flavor and our own spice. So be yourself. You will attract people who will be attracted to you for you. And if they aren't attracted to you and your offers, that's fine. They will be better served with someone else. Have a servitude mindset where you're here to serve the people who want what you have to offer, not everybody. None of us are here to serve everyone. None of us are right for everyone. So drop that scarcity mindset, network with people, make friends.
I love that. I love that you even said that. I feel like it's so important that we learn to network more. And I'm a firm believer, and even though I'm on social media heavy, it makes sense to get offline. Like sometimes it's okay to get that in-person connection, that conversation. And then on top of that, like you said, when you're actually engaging with your peers, don't engage where it's in a sense where it's icky, but kind of keep it like if you were talking to a real person. Like when I go up to you and say this, or I jump in your DMs and say this. If I wouldn't do it in person, then why would I do it on social media? So I think all that plays a factor in building a strong connection in the community. So I'm here for all these tips. For those of y'all who are just joining, we are going live giving you all the information of the outdated content advice that you're getting on social media and why you shouldn't be listening to it, but instead what you should do instead. So my number one is to charge your worth. That statement makes me cringe. I feel like we all could charge our worth, but if we're really honest about it, some days we don't feel our best. Some days we don't feel like we're actually giving out enough information or we're actually good enough. Or sometimes we feel imposter syndrome. Sometimes we're reaching the next level and we're like, oh, I don't think I should charge that because of whatever my reason is. Or sometimes me and Jennifer talk about this all the time. Like sometimes I'll just be like, I'm maybe not cut out for this. But when you have all these things that you've done, these accomplishments of your clients achieved, it's like, no, you're cut out for this. Just because you're having a bad day, a bad month, a bad quarter, it doesn't mean you're not good enough to do something. So charging your worth is not good enough for you because you're only charging how you feel in that moment. Instead of charging for how you feel in that moment or for that time period, you need to start charging for the transformation, the amount of time you're going to save your customers or clients. You're charging for that. They're paying for that. They don't care how you feel about your stuff. You can feel like you suck today, that you giving me my results. I don't care about that. That's what they're paying for. So I really feel like charging your worth needs to be cut out, as well as lowering your prices going into 2024. That needs to be cut out because lowering your prices don't guarantee sales. Just like charging your worth, you're gonna charge your worth, charging low, but a little bit, and then all of a sudden you got a lot of clients and you're either burnt out, you're not making any money, or backfire on you as a whole for what you're worth. And the people who have paid you the price they paid you, they're gonna look at it like, if she lowered her price, then why do I even pay that? And then it makes you lose your credibility. So all in all, charging worth, then throw it out the window, charge for the transformation you're bringing your audience. So let me know if y'all are picking at what we're putting down. Let me know if it makes sense to y'all. If you got questions, drop them in the question box. We're gonna let Lindsay take it away with her number 2, outdated Instagram advice.
That's wisdom right there, by the way. So take note of that. Take note of that. Yeah, because that's a very common phrase. A lot of popular phrases, they get circulated around and we're like, wait a minute, what does this mean? So I'm glad you actually hit on that point. I think one of the outdated things, and some people don't get mad, but it's a loving push, people. Loving pushes I give you. So I feel like with the follower milestone post, the reason I would say leave this behind is because if you think about it, we're showing up for our audience and we're here to serve them. And if you think about it, it's like, well, why am I posting this? Because I'm proud of myself. And that's okay if you're proud of yourself. I think you should celebrate your wins. I'm all about that. Like, go out, celebrate, like make it a big thing if you want to. And if your goal was growth and you're growing, that's a beautiful thing and that should be celebrated. But as far as your audience, how does it benefit them to say, hey, I just hit 4K followers and look what I did? Again, this kind of goes back with what I was saying before about like kind of bragging content, they want to see themselves in it. I would instead even swap out. I would encourage you maybe to even swap out your little milestone celebration for maybe a thank you, like a thank you to your audience for supporting you and for being there. Like that's a very sincere, and I think it's very encouraging, and they're like, oh, thanks. I tried that actually for the first time for my Thanksgiving post. It was just a picture of me, my family, and I was like, ooh, I want to do like a postcard style to my audience because I really love all these people and I've met so many amazing people. So like I should write something specifically just for them. And so that's what I did. I chose to take that time to thank them. And people had told me they appreciated that. And that made me feel good that they felt appreciated because I genuinely do. So maybe finding ways of, how can I highlight them? Or how can I show them that I appreciate them? Or even if you've noticed that this is another option too that I did before, and this can be a pin post. It could be more about like how you see new faces in your community and introducing yourself, maybe doing a reintroduction post. You could say, I see a lot of new followers in my community. And, here's just a reintroduction of who I am in case you don't know me. Because sometimes people hop on our page, they have no idea who we are. They're just following us for the first time. They're new. They just followed you yesterday, day before, week before, and they know nothing about you. So I highly encourage you to do an introduction post for your audience if you have not already. Pin it to the top so they know more about you. And that's something I'm working on, my little pin post. So I just did that this year. Don't come for me, but we're all a work in progress. So work on that pin post, work on how to introduce yourself to your audience. There's just so many other opportunities to speak to them and for them to connect with you.
I was even thinking about why you were saying that because it's a very valid point that instead of being like, oh, I got 100,000 followers or whatever it may be, I would probably do something like, congrats, I made 100,000 followers, in a sense of saying this is what you would be happy for, but I'm actually happy because I built a community. And just go into the long list. So I've been consistent. I've done all these things that were actually things that they suffer with behind closed doors, because not only are you celebrating, oh, I made this amount of followers, but you're saying like, I did all this because of this. And you're guaranteed that in the midst of that, your audience is going to see themselves in whatever it is that you're talking about, because they're probably in the same situation and they're trying to get to that milestone that you just accomplished. So tying it back to the little things that you worked on, I think that would make it work as well if you wanted to do it that way.
Yeah, another option. There's other ways. But just saying, hey, I made it to this number. It's like, oh, okay. Okay. That's cool. Congrats. Like, I don't know, it's like, what else would someone say? So you want to have a dialogue, a conversation. So invite them in to have a conversation. I agree with that. That's a good point.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk on that one because I had experience with that on a milestone post. I grew really quickly from about 3,000, 4,000 followers to about 20,000. And I did a milestone post, but it was more like a lessons I learned to get to 25,000.
Oh, yeah.
The thing that bit me though was I don't think a lot of my audience realized how quickly I grew, and suddenly they looked at that number and my engagement plummeted. Like they were like, oh, well, I've been supporting her and now she's grown this quickly. And they kind of dropped off. I think some people had that scarcity mindset. So they kind of dropped off and stopped engaging for a while. So I'm total agreement with you on that. Be careful on those milestone posts. You could like inadvertently make people shy away from you a little bit for a while, which could, just affect your engagement for a little. I mean, it bounced back, of course, but there for a little bit, I think people had some scarcity mindset on me. So it can happen. Just keep that in mind. They were
intimidated by your greatness.
Right.
We know that ain't true. All right. So my number 2 is and I've seen less of these, so I think this message is getting out and going around, which I'm really happy about. But the read the caption reels, where you deliver this fantastic hook that is like how I grew to 100,000 followers in a week, and then show you sitting there typing and then read the caption. We are tired of those. We are not reading the caption anymore. That's over. That worked. Those 7-second reels worked for a little bit. 5 seconds, 7 seconds. They work for a little while, but people are done. And they want some sort of value. Give 1 tip, give 2 tips, give 3 tips, give something in the reel, and then say, read the caption. That's perfectly fine. It's impossible to, well, not impossible, but it's very difficult to fit everything you want to fit into a reel. I get it. We all get it. But put some type of value in there, some type of takeaway that they can, if they're busy and they want to come back to your reel later, that will give them a reason to save your reel and come back and read the caption later when they have time, rather than giving them nothing and expecting them to do something for you. It's always a give and take. You have to give before you expect to receive anything from people.
Yeah.
I love
I wish I knew who started it. Just random. I just wish I knew, because it came out of nowhere. Like, for a long time,
It did.
talking reels, transitions. It was the following the trends, but then this one just came out of nowhere, and it's like everybody does it. It's like, I don't wish I knew who was a genius that did this, because like, because everybody did it. Right? Like, I'm curious. So, but I love everything you said, because we all know we gotta serve before we sell. So I think that's smart, especially if you're especially if you're a coach, service provider, consultant. We need to hear from you. Like, we need to hear your voice. We need to see what's going on. And like you said, if you want you to see the caption, I know when I do see the caption, I do like 3 tips in the post, and I would like go to the captions for the last 2. But that's only if I can't fit it all in the post, the actual video. But I'm not, like, I told one of my clients to bring it back to what you said. She was like, well, should I do a 7-second? Because I'm like, no, the length of your reels does not matter. It matters about the content and the context of the reel and what you're putting in there. That's what matters. And you can have a 60-second reels, and if it's trash, it's just trash. If you have a 7-second one, and if you have a 7-second reels, and it's just, because you can't, like, trash is trash. I don't care how you try to make it. If it's stink, it's stink. Like, I don't know. So focus less on the now with y'all. So
trash with 15 transitions, still trash.
Yes. Focus more on. I'm trying to be. Focus more on the context of what you're saying to your audience. Focus more on the content you're putting into, the quality of it versus the length of it. The length will come, and if it's a good enough hook, it resonates with your audience, you're talking to them, they'll watch to the end. Like, they're gonna watch. So that's that on that. For my one, it was when you start your account or you're just starting in the industry, they tell you to go follow all these industry leaders, follow every single one of them, go engage on their account and engage with their people or their community, go engage under their posts. It's icky. What I feel like you should do, I feel like instead of trying to follow, because realistically, when you follow all your industry leaders, it sometimes can make you feel like you're not good enough. It makes you feel less than. It makes you feel like you don't have what it takes because you're not where they are. So instead of following every single one of the creators that are industry leaders that are on social media, I advise you to go do your market research. Look at all those people, whatever your number is, and see what they're doing right in the industry versus what they're doing wrong, and find out how you can slide yourself in there to fill in the gap. And this includes looking at the comments that their community is leaving, includes looking at their content, their website. Go in depth and do market research. And then once you've done that, if there's 3 or 4 or 5 people that you feel like I resonate with them, they're their industry, but I actually like their content, then follow those people. Because if you resonate with what they're saying, maybe you can collab with them in the future. Maybe you just like their content. But if you like their content, it's more likely because they don't make you feel less than. They give you the feeling of, I can do this and I can get where they're at. Those are people that you want to follow. Don't just go randomly following people just to be following them. And then when you engage, don't be engaging just to, I'm going to leave a comment to leave a comment. Really build a genuine connection, because I tell you, a lot of you not. We have never met in real life, but we all talk on a regular. So when I say you can build a real relationship in real life with the people that you come encounter with through the comment section when you're engaging in the leaders, I mean that. So do it with intention, do it with strategy, and just be genuine when you do it. So that's that on that.
I'm sorry. I love what you said, but I just saw that. I just went like this, and the symbol popped up in my screen. I don't know how Instagram, they were like, symbol enabled. That's what it said on my screen.
Oh, man.
What?
I saw a bunch of hearts go across.
I saw it
trying it. I'm like,
one was like, yeah.
I said,
I've never seen that.
So I thought somebody was just hearting, and I was like,
not working.
I mean, that's how I don't.
Did we
But
find?
I don't know. I guess I wore it out. Okay. Doesn't want to do it now. It's like, no, I'm gonna make you look crazy. Okay. Instagram. I can't. But I like that point, Alita, about what you said. You know, I actually agree with that too. Again, intentional. Like Ginger was saying, if you wouldn't say it to someone when you're not in person with them, don't say it, you know, in the DMs or in the comments, or, you know, we have to be mindful of how we speak to people. It's crazy. It's like, I've never met them yet. I'm like so close to, I'm always like, hey, how was your Thanksgiving? Yeah, like social media is a great place to network and really connect with other people. So
yeah, I always think of a post as like, if they were to present this on stage, what would I say to them if they walked off the stage and looked at me, and what would I say? Like, they just presented something to me, which is what a post is. We put a lot of work into posts, whether it's a reel or a carousel or even a single image with a graphic and captions, all the work that we put in, it's a presentation that we deliver every time we post. So that's exactly the way I think of it. And what would I say to that person if they just presented this information to me on stage and then they walked down those stairs and I was the person that they met face to face? What would I comment? What would I say to them? And that's how I engage with people.
Some of them would say, read the caption. That's their presentation.
Yeah. Presentation.
Oh,
read the caption.
That's content. You could do like something like, if you wouldn't go to an event and tell somebody to read a caption, why would you do it on your post? Like, I like that. Y'all over here, okay, I'm taking
I was just joking, but all right.
Because it makes sense though. If people actually view their content as, I'm branding myself, I'm meeting people, it's almost like a storefront, but it's online, and they would stop doing some of the small things that you're doing just to kind of get clicks and go viral. They would actually put true intention in it. If I wouldn't go on a stage and give a speech and say, okay, this is the title of my speech, Outdated Instagram Advice 2023. All right, go read the brochure. Why would I do that on a post? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what you said makes a lot of sense. Or if I'm a mindset coach and I want to like help you get your mind together, I'm not going to say, okay, let me go grab something from Google and put it up there and say, hey, this is what you know. I'm going to tell you something from what I know. It's just, if you think of things in the perspective of what y'all just said, it just helps it make it that much easier to show up online, whether you're posting, engaging, or whatever you're doing. It just makes it that much easier because you put it in a real life situation. It just makes sense.
Exactly.
Love it.
Who's
So
next?
it's yours.
I don't even know. I lost.
It's you.
Oh, it's me. Get my little water out.
Good idea.
So my final one for me, and I have a lot of these, but I had to narrow it down. So leave this in 2023, please. Unrelated. I labeled it as like unrelated / disconnected content. So what I mean by that is, and it's funny because I actually lost like over 100 followers one time in one day, believe it or not. So don't let this happen to you. So what happened was, because you have to start like that, the situation was greater than I could have imagined. Like, I meant to help my audience. I was doing it from a heart-centered place. I was like, oh, this is going to help them. But it had nothing to do with specifically what I was helping people with at the time. So remember, when you're creating content, it's for your offer. And the post that I did, and I will never forget it, never. The post that I did that was like ended tragically was when I said, here are, 5 small business grants, right? Girl, you ain't a grant expert. What are you teaching people about? You're not in the financial industry. You're not here helping small businesses get grants. They are not expecting that from your page. And while it is kind to share that with people, my audience was not feeling, oh, this is what she doing now? Goodbye. And they left. This was back in 2021. I'll never forget. It was that summer. And I was like, oh, let me share this with them so they can get help. Again, the intentions are pure. The intentions are good. And I see you out there. A lot of times you're like, oh, I think my audience will like this. Make sure that whatever content you're putting out there aligns with your actual offer. That is what is going to help you in the long run. And I know you feel like you're repetitive. I know you feel like, oh, wait, but I repeated it, or I said this already, kind of. Nobody remembers. Guess what? They had a great weekend. They came back and they're like, oh, yeah, you do that. I'm telling you, no one remembers. So it's good to continue to stay within those pillars, which I know someone's going to go more in depth on that. So I'm not going to get into that. But stay on topic with those topics that you have for your business and with your offer. If you're not selling it or you're not helping people offer it, don't do it. I'm telling you, it's a recipe for disaster. Learn from my mistake. And also, like, for example, instead of saying like small business grants, I could have actually shared more information about the industry specifically, like what's happening in my industry. Did you hear about this new thing happening in the marketing industry or the content industry? Like I could have done that. So, that was a missed opportunity. So while you might mean well, remember it all has to align and come together.
Well said. Well said.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Is it my turn?
Yes, ma'am.
Next.
Okay. So captions. I wanted to talk about captions for my third one. Don't repeat the same thing that you had in the post. So the point of your caption is to further your message, to further the information that you're sharing, to drive it home, to kind of like add more value, add more gems. The other thing is you want more watch time on your post, and watch time is done from when people are consuming your content, and that includes your captions. I get the question a lot about, should I write a long caption or a short caption? The answer is write an interesting caption. Write a caption that people want to read, just like your reels. If it's trash, it's trash. If you repeat the same thing in your caption that you had in your post, it's trash. They've already consumed that. They want something else. And the thing is about captions is it's a great place to, one, get more watch time, two, to see who your warmer audience is when it comes time to sell your offers. And it creates a more of a relationship with your audience. But you have to, for lack of a better word, train people to read your captions. You have to provide value there so that they will consume them, so that they will read them, so that no matter if it's save this post and you're done with that caption, or if it's something that uses up all 2,200 characters, they read it. So put value in your captions, make it worth their while to read it. I love to throw little gems in there that nobody gets to see in the regular post, but it's something that's very impactful for them. And those people that point that out in the comments, they feel like they've gotten something out of it. They feel like they've done something, like they've been rewarded for reading the caption and getting that extra tip that I usually only share when I am, have a paid offer. So reward your audience for reading the caption, give them something beneficial within it.
I love it. I love it. I'm here for it.
I agree. Yeah.
So the last one is, I just had a brain fart.
I got my notes every
The
time.
suspense.
Yeah, no, so I had it in my mind. Me, I just lost my mind. I said that. So, anyways, the last one is content fillers. Lindsay touched on it a little bit earlier when she said things that are unrelated. So I feel like I strongly feel like the constant advice of your content fillers are to educate, promo, inspire, entertain. We don't care about her that. So the way I feel like you should do it as a business owner, no matter what your industry is find out what your core offer is or what product you're really selling and create your pillars around those offers, because everything that you post online should meet your customer on their journeys, whether they're just new and it's brand awareness, whether you're trying to nurture them and kind of get them more into your funnel, or they're trying to convert them. Whatever your main offer is, your content pillars need to align with that offer, and then they need to make sure that they're taking your customer on a journey. One of the things I said, like if you were a fitness coach, for instance, you want to do nutrition, mindset, and workouts. You can talk about anything along those lines because it's going to tie back to your offer, help somebody lose weight. Like whatever it is that you're trying to help them do, the best thing to do is start with the goal. If I want you to subscribe to, let's say, an ebook or something, whatever that thing is, then walk backwards and be like, okay, so I need to get them something that's going to answer this or a frequently asked question. I need to debunk a myth that they may have in their mind. I need to get them thinking, shift their belief. Whatever it is you need to do to get them back to that main offer, that's what you're working on. Your content should not be to educate, entertain, all that stuff. Like, yes, you're educating them through your content, but that's not a pillar. Like, what does that mean? You need to make sure that it aligns with your overall goal of your business and the main offers that you have. It always is to tie back, and that's how you're successful on social media and in your business, because you found a way to do both at the same time.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I think that, so the one that I think that started that whole thing is Canva. I think that Canva, people just saw that in Canva, that those were the content pillars. and they started using that. That's what I think happened, because I did see it in Canva, and then I saw someone use the exact same post that I saw in Canva. So I think that Canva expected us to change that template, but people started just posting it with exactly how it is in Canva.
And that's another thing. We gotta like when we get things from other industry leaders, get things from the online, do your research.
Do your research.
Just because you see it doesn't mean it's facts. You need to fact check the facts. Fact check the expert. Like do your deep dive before you just go into something saying, okay, I'm gonna do this because they say do this. Like, what does that even mean? So I didn't know that. So that's good information. So let me see. Let me see. One girl said, I think I don't know, I can't pronounce it. It's a digital little lady. She said, I've always been one to use most of not all my characters in the caption. Lately, I've seen a lot of accounts saying that the majority of people don't read the caption and keep it short. So which one of you guys, I got my thoughts on this, but which one of you guys, where did Lindsay go?
And that's Brianna, no. That digital mama, Adery, that's Brianna. So Brianna, well, I'll start and then you can go, Alita. Yeah. So for years and years and years, people have said short captions are the only thing that work. To that, I say that's like saying that hashtags don't work. If you do it correctly, if you train your audience to read your caption by giving them gems, it doesn't matter if it's a short read or a long read, they will read it, just like short reels and long reels. If it's valuable, people will consume it. So make it valuable and let people know you are putting value in your captions. They will then think, oh, Brianna always puts some gem in her caption. Let me read it. I'm going to get that gem out or whatever. So just keep that in mind and don't focus so much on the length of the caption. Focus on the value that you're providing within the caption, what you're delivering. All right, Alita, go ahead.
You want to add anything to that, Lindsay?
Oh, I was trying to make sure y'all were awake. Nah, I swiped to I swiped to the left by accident, and it was like I was in another live. I was like, "What happened?" Oh, my fault. That's my fault. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't really have anything to add as far as what Ginger said. I love what she said. I mean, maybe I would add just one small thing with the call to actions. Like if you put them in your reel, that there's more in the caption, or if you put on the last slide of your carousel post, or you put a strong hook in your call to action, similar, sort of what she mentioned, you're gonna lead people and they'll look. And if it's valuable to them, or if they connect with it, or if you make them laugh. I mean, the main thing is any type of emotion. It doesn't have to be a serious caption like this is a life-changing tip down below, like nothing crazy, but just something that'll, either make them laugh or make them smile or make them feel or be like, this is a profound moment or a deep moment. You're just, again, having that conversation. It's supposed to be a dialogue. So what would you say to your best friend, to invite in to read the caption? Probably go with that, over the other things. Sometimes I think we put too much pressure on ourselves to make it perfect. And just what would I say to my friend to tell them, hey, check this out, or to read the caption? Find a way to do that. And also, what are hooks that draw you in? If you're observing a lot of hooks that get you to read the caption, observe those, save those, kind of do some research on that, and then do something similar and put your own spin on it in your own voice. So.
I love that. So pretty much, if you do feel like you're struggling, they pretty much nailed it. So I'm just going to say this. If you feel like you don't know, like, should I do long or should I do short? Like, try them both out. Do long and do short. Like, you won't know until you experiment and see which one works better. And then if you're not good at copywriting, hire a copywriter or get a book and start reading, do your research. But don't focus on the length of it more or less, because if it's good, it's good. It's almost like a book. Oh, it's a long book. I don't want to read it. But the book is good, you're going to read the book. If the movie's good, you're going to watch the movie. But if it's boring from the beginning, I'm not interested. So instead of focusing on the length of things, start focusing on the context of it, what you're going to be saying, and how you're going to say it. And like Lindsay said, keep in mind, like you're talking to your friend, like how would you talk to somebody in real life? And keep that same enthusiasm. I know for my captions, I'm very like rah, kind of like I have a way of saying where Lindsay's like, well, every time she talks, we know how her voice is. And you can hear it in my captions. So when you're writing captions, for instance, make sure it sounds like you. That's a dead giveaway. Okay, I'm talking to the real person. That actually helps you connect more and also lets you get your engagement up. Make sure that another tip for your caption, whether it's long or short. Don't use a whole bunch of CTAs. Keep your call to action simple. Keep it to one. If you want to do two, separate them in your caption so that you're not overwhelmed. Like, what am I supposed to do with this post? So there's little small tweaks you can make and things you can fix. But all in all, if you don't know which one to use, try them both and see which one works. It's all about experimenting for your brand, unless you're going to hire somebody who's going to give you the full-on blueprint for your brand. So that's what it boils down to.
Love it.
So if y'all have any questions, we're going to give y'all a second. If y'all got any questions about Instagram, outdated advice, something you've heard, you want clarification on one, drop it in the question box down here below Lindsay. If you're not following any of us, make sure you tap above my head right here and follow Ginger, Lindsay, and myself. Me and Lindsay go live bi-weekly, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we had to bring Ginger in. This ain't going to be our last time coming because we like Ginger. So
she'll be back.
So
love you too.
You too. And so just make sure you guys are like really intentional. If you look at any one of our pages, we're all pretty much not saying the same thing. We're saying similar things in different ways where you can understand it. So if you ever feel like what Ginger said earlier, I don't know if I want to collaborate or I don't know if I want to network with people, that's going to help, because when you connect with people and you start talking, you'll be able to see like, okay, now I get this. If I see something or somebody said something on a post and it really resonates, I'm going to let you know that resonated with me. I love what you said. It worked. Use the resources you have right now to get you where you need to get to. But all in all, if you're watching this, make sure you leave these things that we said, the 9 things we said, leave them in 2023. We mean it. Leave it. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help your business. If you truly want to succeed, you want to make sure that you're being strategical and intentional with how you're showing up online. So with that being said,
and one thing I just wanted to add, it's interesting. Some accounts feel intimidated of reaching out to larger accounts. And I've been in that position before, just so you know. I remember I had less than 1,000 followers. I had reached out to some people about collaborations, and some of them actually did want to collaborate with me. So, don't think that, because they have a large account, they wouldn't want to respond to me, or, try to eliminate, like she said, that scarcity mindset, like the assumptions. Release those limiting beliefs, let go of those and say, well, let me try. What's the worst that could happen? They don't respond. Okay, moving on. There are so many other people that I can connect with. And honestly, even with Ginger, she probably doesn't even know this, but I was like, oh, she has a massive following. I don't know how I ran into your post and I commented. And I was like, let me click over and see who she is. I was like, oh, she's not going to want to, she's probably not going to talk to me. Like, my comment is going to get lost in the sauce somewhere. So when she actually responded, I was shocked. I was like, oh, she actually replied. Okay, she's cool, So that made me want to follow her and connect with her more, because at first, that can be intimidating if someone has a larger following. And someone told me that before too. It was on the other end. They're like, I didn't think you would actually reply to my comment or reply to my DM. And I'm shocked you actually responded. Like, give it a shot, give it a try. What's the worst that can happen?
Comment on a post before you DM a larger account, though. And it's not for any other reason other than Instagram will not show your DM. It will put it over in the requested folder. If you've never had any interaction, like commenting on a post with that larger creator, they may never see your DM. So always comment on a post before you decide to hop into their DMs if you ever want them to see your DMs, because we get a lot of bots, a lot of spam, a lot of junk, and your DM could get lost. So always comment first on a post. That way Instagram will make it a DM that shows up like for the to be accepted and put in the primary little bucket.
That's
Good
right.
tips, both of you. So to add on what they said, don't send nobody no request that you have not engaged on the account. We don't want to see it. We're not interested. And it is, again, I'm just like, y'all don't unfollow because of this. But no, truthfully, like, creators who have bigger accounts take their account seriously. And if you jump into, I had somebody do this to me recently. You jump in their DM and saying, oh, I like your content. I enjoy what you're saying. I want to collaborate with you one day, but you never engage on the content. What are you or don't follow? Like, what are we talking about? You can't. It's not adding up. The math ain't mapping. So if you're gonna actually want to work with somebody, try to engage with them. And if you're like, okay, maybe they might not have time, because some creators don't have time to collaborate with you. When I say collaborate, I mean in the sense that they don't have time to put 50-50 in when it comes to creating the content. You can always do a guest post. Hey, look, your account's bigger than mine. Don't say that literally, but I enjoy your content. I love what you're putting out with them, with your community. I feel like I have a piece of content that will work both for both of our brands. And I wanted to see if you were interested in collaborating, and then let them know you don't have to do any work. I'll do everything, and I'll send it to you for your approval, edit as needed, and then we can wham bam and go from there. But never feel intimidated. Never feel like you can't do it. Never feel like somebody's not going to help you. Because people out here who genuinely want to see you win. Like, you'd be surprised, a lot of these bigger accounts, if you jump in their DM as y'all just having regular conversations, they enjoy conversing, they enjoy talking to you, they enjoy helping, they really want to see you win. So keep those things in mind even when you're looking for a social media coach or social media manager or a marketing expert. Keep those things in mind. You want to work with somebody who is open to communicating with you way before you even buy the offer, because if I can't reach you before I buy, I don't want to buy because I can't reach you after I buy. So just little things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Can we bring back guest posts in 2024? Can we bring that back around? Because that used to be really popular until before they started doing the collaboration where we could both put our names on. That was like huge. Doing guest posts for big accounts was a big deal. And I never see them anymore. I never see a guest post. But they were great, especially like when the account wanted to go on vacation or something like that. You would see on larger accounts, they still had posts every day, and they were guest posts every day, which kept their account active, and they never engaged, but the person who was guest posting engaged on their account, and they got tons of visibility from it. It was a really great setup. I don't know why we don't do that anymore. Let's bring it back.
That's interesting. I've never done that before. That sounds cool.
Guest hosts are bomb.
Yeah.
I've never done it, but I've thought about doing it a couple of times, because when you do a guest post, the person that posts still gives you credit. They still tag and say guest post by so and so, so you're still getting the acknowledgement on that particular post, which I think is really good for somebody who's like, I'm just starting out, I don't have a lot of followers, but I need the exposure. Guest posted.
Like, yeah, I did guest posts for larger accounts, and it was a great experience all the way around. Like, everything was awesome about it. And like you said, you get that exposure, which is fantastic. And, it benefits everybody, really.
I like the comment also that I see here. Digital camaraderie. Sorry if I butchered it. I just saw someone's. What is it?
That's Brianna.
It makes sound like me. That'd be the same thing. I just like, hey, Brianna. Hey, girl.
I just saw. It says, I just saw someone's post today talking about how Taylor Swift stayed 13 hours to sign autographs for her fans before. I don't have time to engage isn't an excuse. Yes, I agree with that. That's very interesting. And it shows that she cares. So it's like, how do I show my audience that I care? Showing up and, being willing to reply. I mean, if someone doesn't reply to your DM or your comments, is this person, I mean, if you hire them, what type of effort would they put into responding to you? Like Alita said, people are showing you early signs. So very important to notice that and look out for that.
I love it. You guys. This live was amazing. So you guys already know, and in case you don't know, we're going to post a replay. So make sure if you're catching a replay, you put hashtag replay. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to know what you think should be left in 2023, because we all want to know. And I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves again, or close out, introduce themselves, so you can know how you can work with them or how you can stay connected with them on going forward. And if you have an offer or something y'all want to share, by all means. Ginger, you can take it away.
Why do I have to go first? No, I'm just kidding. I'm Ginger at Ginger Star Borden, and I'm on Instagram most of the time. Again, if you want to DM me, I'm open to DMs. I love talking in the DMs. Just make sure you comment on a post first. That way Instagram will show me your DM. Otherwise, I may not see it, because it'll be over there in that requested folder that I hide from as often as I possibly can. Thing's a beast. So comment on a post and then DM me. My offer, I do coaching. It's a 120-day program to take you from crickets to conversations on Instagram. It's all about humanizing your brand and getting out there and making relationships with people to profit your business.
Yeah, love it, Lindsay. You're next.
My next. I'm next. No. Okay. When I go,
Lindsay got to be first.
No. No. So as far as what I'm working on right now is a workshop, which I'm so excited about. I can't wait to release it. It's releasing next week on Wednesday. But people can actually pre-register starting tomorrow. So I can't wait. It's called From Content to Clients. So it's helping you to attract ready to invest clients. It breaks down the psychology behind why certain posts work. Content that repels your audience versus one that compels them to actually take action, especially for people who have the solution-oriented mindset. So that's what I'm working on now. Like I mentioned, I think a couple weeks back, it's my first low ticket offer. So I'm really looking forward to it and doing something outside of the box, outside of my comfort zone. And so that's it. That's all that's going on with me. And you can follow me at Content Coach Lindsay with an AY at the end.
Yes, I love it. If y'all want to follow either one of them, make sure y'all go up here and tap this thing, the drop down will come down and you'll see everybody's page. Follow and stay tuned. As far
What are you working on?
As far as me, I'm like Lindsay, I am starting to get into the low ticket offer because I want to make sure that I can service my audience where they're at. So right now I'm working on a content strategy guide where it's a guide where you're gonna pretty much be interactive. You're gonna have to write stuff, you're gonna have to read it and do the work. I'm still a little witty in the ebook as well. I'm talking my normal tone, but it's gonna get you where you need to get to for your business. That will be releasing in 2 weeks, but I also, if you're like, I need help now, but I do not want to do it myself. I want to get off social media and live my best life. I also offer digital marketing where I manage your social media platform so you can actually log off of Instagram and not have to log back in if you choose to do so. And I have an outsourcing guide for that. It's a free guide. If you're like, I want to do that, can I get more information? DM me the word outsource and I'll get you the guide over to you. Awesome. Let me see. So we'll have no questions. So we appreciate you guys for tuning into the live. We really loved having you here. We enjoyed the conversation. Like Lindsay said, there's so many more things we could tell you about what's outdated and what needs to be solved. But just make sure you keep your eyes and ears open. Yeah, that's right. Eyes and ears open. Follow our platforms. We'll be discussing more ways you can grow a lot. But all three of us, honestly, are no fluff, straight to the point, giving you actual steps you can take on a day-to-day basis. So take heed to it. All of us love being in DM. So if you have questions, DM whoever you feel like you want to DM her. DM all of us if you want to. But what I don't want you to do going into 2024, we have 27 more days left in the year, is don't go into 2024 not knowing what to do, what not to do, not out here just posting to be posting and throwing noodles at the wall, hoping to stick. Actually get ready for 2024 today. Like you need to start planning your content strategy for January today so you can set yourself up for success. If you struggle, you have Lindsay's workshop coming up in a week. And then you have Ginger has the Empowered Empire. And then, of course, I do the digital marketing for you. So there's options. You just figure out which one best suits you and your price point and then go with it. So outside of that, y'all have anything else y'all want to let the people know? Nope. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Bye. Bye.